The true crime case I've recently covered of Diane's beating and acid attack has been one hell of a shocking case, because the alleged person behind this is an active YouTuber still posting today. With additional information through commentary and images, this is part 1 of a mini-series. Be warned, you may find these images extremely graphic, but they're crucial for bringing justice to this young lady and her son. On call with me, I have Zan, who initially brought this case to my attention. You can either watch the video in the description below, or you can just follow through along with this, because I'll play the key moments and then provide extra context for you. This is the CCTV from Diane's home. You see her son's potty on screen here, which she was about to go and retrieve. As she was doing this, she noticed people wheeling these garbage bins outside. Those were her attackers. I'll just start to the point that she's wheeling the bin outside. She was savagely being beaten at the back of her head with a metallic nightstick by the people who were wheeling garbage bins earlier.
Please. Help! Help! Hier. Stoppen! Alsjeblieft! Ik heb een kind! Alsjeblieft!
Alright, I have to pause it there just to explain a little bit of what's going on. You can hear her choking. You can hear her begging. She's asking in Dutch, please stop. I have a son, begging with the attackers. There's a grown man there with his 15-year-old stepdaughter. She opens her backpack and passes him a bottle of acid. Obviously had to blur this for privacy reasons. Someone, taking advantage of a single woman living with a 2-year-old son. I'm just going to play the rest of it out, and then we will discuss this in a little bit more detail. That was Diane being hit 9 times with a nightstick before being choked against the wall with it, followed by the man pouring acid over her from a bottle handed over by his own 15-year-old daughter. Diane pleaded with them to stop, saying, please, I have a son. With all her strength, she manages to push him away, grab the nightstick, and runs. He chases her, throwing acid behind her back one more time. The attackers were giggling and smirking as Diane ran around, desperately seeking help, receiving blows that had caused fractures and broken bones. So she runs into her neighbor's home, but let's talk about the details of what actually transpired here.
Before the acid attack even happens, Diane has sustained some very, very serious injuries. She has fractures. She has a broken nose by this point. She has fractures to her skull. She has fractures to her spine. She's severely concussed. And the fact that she's even conscious whatsoever is pretty incredible. That was their intention originally, was to render her completely unconscious, pliant, and so they could just do what they wished with her.
Why did they beat her so savagely? If they just wanted to disfigure her, right? Why not just pour acid on her and run away?
Well, it seems the intent of the beating was, well, probably it was requested by the person that is allegedly behind these attacks, who would be Goatis, that it was requested that she be beaten to begin with, and more accurately than beaten, she was bludgeoned. Let's not forget that this is basically a steel bar or a steel club. She's being hit with full force by a grown man, over the face, over the head, the back of the head, the neck, the spine. The intention was almost certainly to immediately render her unconscious, or quickly thereafter, as she's being viciously bludgeoned, render her unconscious so that they could then have their way with her and render the most damage possible with the next attack, the second attack, which was the acid attack.
Wow, so it wasn't just the disfigurement. They were trying to kill her, but they wanted...
Revenge was a part of this.
Because I did receive some comments on the video. Oh, it doesn't look like she's being hit that hard. She was able to fight back. What do you say to that?
I say that's absolute nonsense. In the CCTV footage, even without enhanced audio, you can clearly hear her being struck. Okay, this is bone and flesh that's being struck, and you can clearly hear it on the video.
She was savagely being beaten at the back of her head with a metallic nightstick.
You don't get that unless someone is being whacked with full force, strongly hit. That's the only way you would hear that. There's no other way, and it's clear as day.
I think it's almost a miracle. It's adrenaline and just the will to live that she survived, because she is the sole caretaker of her 2-year-old son inside.
Her own testimony as well. She was being bludgeoned with basically full force. It's a sickening sound.
And God knows what they would have done had she actually gone unconscious. But there's another piece that you mentioned to me, which is off camera. After she actually manages to wrestle the nightstick away and run away, they still chased after her.
Yes, they chased after her to throw more acid on her, which ended up splashing across her entire back. Vicious agony that comes with that kind of a burn to the flesh. And she's actually able to still wrestle the nightstick from a full-grown man, and not only wrestle it from them, but she drove them off with it. By her own admission, it was a somewhat pathetic attempt, but she was able to drive them back. She actually tried kicking Illyas. So that drove them back, drove them away. And at that point is when the attack broke, and she ended up having it splashed upon her back.